Hello, this is the GPS Insight Podcast, and I'm your host, Carla Wardine. We're talking to experts about everything to do with fleet and field. From telematics to dash cams to GPS tracking to today's issues, we're exploring what's going on in our industry together. Thanks for listening. Hello, thanks for listening. Today I'm on with Mitchell Wasser, Supply Chain and Fulfillment Manager here at GPS Insight. Hello, Mitchell.
Hi, happy to be here.
I'm so glad. Tell me about your role at GPS Insight.
Yeah, so I am the supply chain and fulfillment manager. Me and my team really manage our end-to-end supply chain from forecasting and inventory purchasing all the way through to customer delivery and managing hardware that's deployed out in the field. So, a lot of different processes and steps that we deal with, a lot of different vendors that we deal with, and through that, our primary focus is to receive and make sure that we have inventory needed to be able to meet the needs of our customers, and then deploy that hardware in line with exactly what that customer needs and any kind of custom configuration or any customer specific needs that they have when an order is placed.
When you talk to people, like you're out with your friends and somebody says, "What is your job?" What do you really tell them?
I mean, some version of that, really. I mean, it's one of those things where everyone knows supply chain, right? Especially in the last few years, that's been such a huge buzzword that, I've worked in logistics my entire career, and a lot of people didn't really understand what I did. But actually, the last couple of years has maybe helped that, just because it's a topic that's on the forefront of everybody's mind. Everybody's experienced everyone's got some war story about a bad experience with an order delivery or with some sort of something that's related to supply chain, whether you're ordering furniture, an appliance, or a car. Somebody's got something that they've dealt with recently. So it's actually made explaining it a little bit easier, but explaining what we do as a company and what me and my team do usually helps paint a picture of exactly what we're doing on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, that is the answer to so many things right now. What happened? Supply chain, something to do
Yep.
with supply chain. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
You've worked in this in your whole career. Where have you been before?
So a few different positions before coming to GPS Insight. Most recently, I worked for Ryder Supply Chain Solutions. So I worked in our the vertical that managed the distribution locations and transportation. And with Ryder, I worked for a whole slew of different Fortune 500 customers. So in that position, we had customers that would hire us as a third-party logistics company to manage their entire distribution process. So I got to see firsthand what a lot of Fortune 500 top companies in America, how they manage their distribution, what makes them successful in the way that they move their product, how they manage their delivery, whether it's to end customers or within their freight network. So I got a ton of exposure and experience to a lot of different companies, and Riders is really excelled at putting some best in practice, or best in class processes in place. So it's kind of a crash course into the supply chain industry, and it taught me a ton. So I was there for a handful of years, moving through a bunch of different accounts and different customers, and prior to that, I worked for about 8 years locally in Arizona with actually a shoe company whose North American headquarters were based out of Tempe. So managed the distribution for them prior to that.
Well, I'm glad that you brought your expertise here to GPS Insight. How long have you been here now?
It'll be 3 years here in about a month, actually. So I started in March of 2020.
March of 2020, a memorable time for all of us.
Yeah, my first day in the office was the first day that everyone else was sent home. So it was interesting, because as I was considering making the move to GPS Insight, I came and saw the office, and met with some of the people on the team. And then when I came back a couple weeks later for my first day, I looked around and said, what happened? And of course knew what was going on, but it was definitely a strange existence there in my first few months with the company.
I'm sure it is. Now that things are more normal in 2023, what's a regular day for you at work?
So, our team's primary focus is really day-to-day order management and inventory management. So, there's a whole bunch of different things that we have to do in order to meet the goals of those two kind of high-level tasks. But day to day, my team is working in the office every day. We are making sure that we're receiving inbound inventory and tracking all of our scheduled deliveries with our vendors. We're managing that inventory once it kind of gets within the four walls of our operation, and making sure that we've got inventory in the right locations, that everything is inventoried correctly and accurately, and that everyone is aware of where inventory is located, so that we can efficiently process. And then order processing and ensuring that customer orders are being delivered accurately and efficiently. So those are kind of our main processes our teams in every day. We're managing, a handful of different, order types and different deployments on a day-to-day basis, and making sure that we're maintaining and kind of hitting our department level goals, so that our customers have a positive experience when an order is placed with us.
Yes, we've all had a positive experience in the side of service, and we've all had a negative experience, and I know which all we prefer. So that's a
Yeah.
great goal. Can you talk to me about amounts and where we're shipping from?
Yeah, so our office is located in Scottsdale, Arizona, and that's where our shipping operation is located as well. A ton of benefits to having our fulfillment operation right next door, literally right next door to some of our other departments. So, we have to collaborate a lot with other departments. Our sales and account management team, and then our support and installation team. We kind of sit right in the middle of those, the life cycle of a customer, when they're dealing with a sales rep or an account manager. Then that customer then is interacting with us via the order processing, and then our support and installation team, who deals with sort of the deployment and post installation. We being in the office in Arizona has a ton of benefits that helps us with collaboration and being able to accurately process orders and resolve any issues as they pop up.
And we're doing the shipping domestically or internationally, or how does it work?
Yeah, so everything is shipped out of our Scottsdale, Arizona office. All of our inventory is managed to here, and of course, we have customers, all around, North America and even the world in some situations. So everything originates out of our Scottsdale office, and we're processing everything out of here. So we use a couple different freight carriers to be able to ensure that those deliveries can occur to all those different regions. But everything is processed domestically out of our office in Arizona.
In beautiful Arizona, you sure picked a nice place to work and live, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh, when you're thinking about all the steps here and all the people involved and all the inventory, how do you organize such a large operation when there are so many moving parts?
It's a challenge every day. So we have a lot of processes and a lot of tools at our disposal to create really good visibility and insight into our current state of our inventory and our forecasting. So, we moved to a 9 month or longer forecasting model. So we're actually right now taking a look at our inventory needs for the end of this year and even into early 2024 for certain product types, and ensuring that we're working with our vendors to be able to communicate what our needs are, and get orders placed and be able to manage those production timelines with our vendors. We've got some powerful BI tools that we utilize to be able to easily digest and understand what are our needs right now, where do we have any potential gaps, where are we at risk if we have any sort of inventory items that we run tight on, and we're actually able to communicate those things proactively, instead of after the fact when we already run out of something. So that's a major focus for myself and for my team, is to make sure that we have good visibility into where we stand and where we project potential issues to be down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And we're able to communicate that to all of the appropriate parties within the company. So we have a weekly cadence that we have of where we're providing providing updates to the appropriate parties within the company, account managers and sales reps, and our installations team, so that they understand exactly where we stand and they know what's either maybe potentially a problem from a supply chain or inventory standpoint, or even have some visibility before that issue is gonna actually occur. Be able to communicate that in advance.
That is great to have somebody right at the forefront so you can see what's going to happen. And with forecasting, what kind of trends are you seeing today in fleet and field? Are there any hot topics?
Yeah. So, I mean, the last few years, we've been challenged the same way as any other technology company has, as far as constraints on individual components and the actual materials that are used to make our devices. And we're seeing that start to alleviate, and we're starting to see lead times get back to what you would consider pre-pandemic normals. So we're seeing that the market start to normalize a little bit, where demand really shot up during COVID for a lot of those electronics, where you had people that were, upgrading their TVs and their computers and their home electronics because they were spending a lot of time at home. People were buying new cars because, we had the additional stimulus money, or whatever the case may be. So that demand really shot up. And then we were in a position, worldwide, where labor was very difficult. Labor and components were very difficult to normalize or react to that. So we're finally getting to that point where we're starting to see in the marketplace those lead times start to come back to normal. We're starting to see those restrictions on certain components be relieved, and we're getting into a much better place. We're really seeing now the push, as a lot of companies, I think, and a lot of our vendors were really in survival mode the last few years, trying to just manage the volume demands that their customers had of them. We're starting to see now the product really push forward. So very excited to see some of the things that our company is doing, and some of the products that we're looking at to be able to push our technology forward into the future. And we're really excited and really engaged with our vendors to help make that happen.
That's great. And that's a nice journey from March 2020 to 2023. And I'm excited for the rest of the year too, to see what we can do.
Absolutely.
What do you like to do when you're not working?
Oh, well, I've got an 18-month-old son, so that keeps my wife and I quite busy. So that would be the really the short answer. But so it's been very fun being a new dad, and that's kind of my main focus outside of work. We spend a lot of time together. We like to travel. My wife and I both love to cook, so that's something that we do a lot, and like to explore new recipes and to cook often. We love to. I love to woodwork, and my wife loves to do a lot of projects around the house, and she's got her own little side business as well. So I help her out with that, and we like to make stuff, and always have a couple different projects in the hopper of stuff that we're working on. And then when as often as I can in Arizona here, like to get out and play golf and get outside as well.
You live in the right place for golf, that's for sure. And boy,
Yeah.
your son is lucky to have parents who love to be creative and make him food.
Yeah, it's always a struggle to get him to eat it. He's at that stage where he's not necessarily eating everything we put in front of him, but we certainly try. So
well, as a mother of 3 teenage boys, someday he'll eat everything in your house.
yep, yeah, ready for that. So
I have been on with Mitchell Wasser, the supply chain and fulfillment manager here at GPS Insight. I am Carla Wardeen. Thank you so much, Mitchell, for your time.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure.